Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath.
And I'm Bree.
And we're going to talk candidly, openly, honestly in this video about Mary Poppins Returns. This is a divisive movie. This is a divisive time for Disney, for just society at large. We're taking sides on things, and this movie kind of falls in the middle of a lot of that. So,
yeah.
Mary Poppins Returns. Now, we're Disney fans, right? We're huge Disney fans.
Yeah.
I would say that's one of our favorite things is Disney.
Yeah.
But I know that I, myself, am not a huge fan of the current era of Disney.
No.
Though there's good things in it. Moana, Frozen.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some of these properties are really good. I feel like Disney has entered, under the leadership of Bob Iger, oftentimes I feel like some of what I have always loved about Disney gets left just behind. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense. I mean, they are a business and they are trying to make money, but sometimes it feels like their decisions are solely based on that and that they're not based on, maybe Walt's vision of, what would you say, imagination and the
dreams.
Magic of childhood and following your dreams.
Yeah.
So
I put this here. This is my favorite quote from Walt Disney. And it's here for this video. Yeah, and I think Mary Poppins Returns is exactly the kind of movie that we're talking about being a product of corporate Disney, where Walt was obviously a corporate, like it was about making money,
right?
But it was fueled by something. It was fueled by something besides just like a bottom line. And so often with Disney, we have the Dumbo movie coming out. We have all these live action remakes of things. The Jungle Book.
Yeah, we've had the Jungle Book, Cinderella.
They're doing the Lion King now.
Yeah,
They're working on
Lion
Aladdin.
King.
It's like a couple of them
Any
are successful
property.
So now we're gonna do them all. We're just gonna do them all. And out of that mentality comes Mary Poppins Returns. And I was very cynical about this movie. Honestly, I'm still feeling kind of cynical about this movie.
I was too.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it. I was really upset. I loved the first Mary Poppins movie.
Yeah.
It was a huge part of my childhood. I watched it constantly. I shared it with Minnie Midnight when she was just little.
And I think it's one of her favorite movies.
One of her favorite movies too.
Right.
So.
And we should point out, she isn't crazy about Disney doing this this sequel either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't excited about seeing it either.
Yeah. So you went to see this by yourself. I did not go. So you saw this in the theater.
I saw it in the theater with Minnie Midnight.
Yes.
We had a girls' day out.
By the way, I want to say, it's okay for dudes to like Mary Poppins. I feel like there's this pushback against Mary Poppins. Like, I understand, like, you're not going to cut, like, a dude, I mean, if they want to, they can. It doesn't necessarily resonate with the same fan base as some of the other Disney properties, like the pirate stuff. But I know plenty of guys that like Mary Poppins. But I'm noticing, especially with this movie, there's this pushback. Like, my wife likes Mary Poppins. A lot of guys, I know for a fact, a lot of guys like Mary Poppins, but they're not necessarily comfortable talking about it.
Star-Lord likes Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I just want to say that because I think Mary Poppins is a classic literature character from our childhood. Like, it's one of those characters that you grow up with, and I think all of us probably watching this video come from, like, we don't predate Mary Poppins. We've all grown up with Mary Poppins, so I think it's okay to like Mary Poppins. But you went to see. I didn't sit it out because I was like, well, that's for girls or something like that. I sat it out because I thought it was gonna be garbage. And so you went to see it, and what was your reaction?
Well, I had a lot of different reactions when I was watching it. I had dual things going on in my brain.
A duel of the fates, if you will.
Yes. One was, this is beat for beat like the original Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Like the type of song they were singing, when they were singing it, the type of adventure they were going on.
Like we say, The Force Awakens is criticized sometimes as being a beat-for-beat remake of A New Hope.
Yes.
Same thing.
So, yeah, I felt that way. But then there was something magical about the songs and about the story that it really sucked me in. So I felt torn.
With, like, we talked about it when you got back home, and you were like, I saw it. I felt, because I was like, it's the same thing as the original, right? And you were like, it is, but they do it really well. And I was like, well, you know what did it really well? The original did it really well. But it's out now. It's out on Blu-ray, and so I picked it up, not the 4K, just the regular Blu-ray, and we watched it last night. I have all this cynical, like I'm like, the jaded Disney fan who's like, Bob Iger's running the company. He's just all about the money, and it just like starts to fall away. And this musical number pops up, and it's like, well, that was actually kind of special. And then, like Lin-Manuel Miranda is fantastic in it, and Emily Blunt is fantastic in it. Mm-hmm. And while I recognize that, like, this is almost a beat for beat remake of the original, but it's different, and it's kind of different, but it made me feel, I don't even know the word, it made me feel, it has the spirit of Walt in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's the craziest thing. Because I love a lot of Disney, like Moana is a modern Disney movie that I love, and then even the Wreck-It Ralph or whatever, Monsters Inc., Monsters Universe, Toy Story movies, but those don't feel necessarily. Those are good Disney movies. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily feel like Walt's Disney movies.
Aren't those all Pixar?
Yeah, well Moana's not.
Yeah,
Frozen's not. I didn't mention Frozen. We mentioned it earlier, but they still make good movies, but they don't necessarily feel like they have Walt's fingerprints on them. And this does, in a weird way. Now you can say, and I will say, well, maybe it's because they just copied Walt's movie. But I think it's more than that, because that was a long time ago. That was 61. When was Mary Poppins? 64?
I thought it was 64.
64. That sounds right.
We'll say 64.
If we're wrong, it'll be right here on the screen. But it has the sense of wonder and imagination, and the themes of I don't feel like it's pushing an agenda.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's pushing girl power, boy power,
political agenda.
Any of the current divisive political agendas I don't really see here. I see try to be optimistic, be kind. All the themes of the original. Feed the birds. It costs you nothing. Tuppence a bag. Feed the birds.
You seem so angry about feeding the birds.
Feed those birds!
Imagination.
Yes. Yeah.
Childhood wonder.
They're all there. And they're all represented really, really well. And it's been a long time since I've seen a modern era Disney movie that feels so old-fashioned. And I mean that as
a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So we watched it last night. This is less than 24 hours. We watched this, and I'm at work today. And we talked about doing a video about this, and I'm at work today. I'm like, was it as good as I remembered it being? Because, it doesn't need to exist. We have the original. The cynicism was already creeping in. And I have to be like, no, stop. It made you feel a certain way. So even if it's just within the confines of the movie itself, I would say what they did. The director, Rob Marshall, and then the music. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. People are like, the songs are forgettable. I don't think the songs are forgettable at all. I think they're very memorable. The performances are really great. But it just feels like it feels 50s and 60s era Walt Disney.
It feels magical.
It does. It really does feel magical. And I guess that's where I will leave it, is that I will say for myself, even after I turned it off, I could feel that imagination and that wonder and what it tapped into me. I could feel it slipping away. And I don't really want it to. And I'm going to try to hold on to it. Because we will go to Disney, when we are able to go to Disney World, it's like a refresher for your soul. You know what I mean? Yeah. You come back happier. You come back a little bit nicer to your fellow man. Just a little bit sweeter in your everyday life. And then life takes it, you get harder as time goes on. And I already feel myself getting harder after watching this, but I want to retain the imagination that I see in this movie. So I think it's pretty good.
I really like it. I don't feel as maybe jaded or cynical as you do. I mean, I went into it that way because I had such an affection for the original one that I didn't want to like this one. I didn't feel like it needed to exist. But then after I saw it, I mean, I cried both times that I watched it.
Yeah.
And I really lost a lot of my cynicism and really appreciated it just for what it was, for that it took me somewhere else. It felt like an escape from the real world to a place that you might want to be. It's almost inexplicable that it gives you this feeling that makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you've escaped from the real world into this imaginary place that, I don't know. You can't describe a feeling. It's not logical necessarily, but
yeah, absolutely. And so here's the facts on it. It's directed by Rob Marshall. It's written by the guy who wrote Finding Neverland, the Johnny Depp movie about the writer of Peter Pan. It's got the music is overseen. Now, he didn't write the actual songs, but Richard Sherman, who wrote the original Mary Poppins songs, oversaw the music in this, and it is very evocative of the original. They frequently musically reference this is musical, this is piano. It's also typing, but they reference the classic songs just for just like a few notes, and you're like, oh, it's whatever.
It's like the background music.
So if this is what we're doing, if we're going to make movies that don't necessarily need to be made, this is, I'm going to say, this is one of the best examples of a success.
Doing it well.
Yeah. Because we've watched, I like the Jungle Book remake, but I don't love it. So many of these that we've seen, I like them. I'm like, well, I can see that will appeal to 11-year-olds or to 9-year-olds or 8-year-olds or whatever. But this appeals to everybody if you can just kind of lower the cynicism shields. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's where I stand on it. That's all I have to say about it, is that I didn't want to like it, and I was pretty sure I wasn't going to, but I actually really did. I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will also say they do a really good job at capturing that feeling of early 1900s London. It really feels like they just recreated the first Mary Poppins atmosphere. It feels, we never step out of that that time, that place, and the music, the atmosphere, the colors, the lights, the flowers, all created artificially, but they all feel so Disney. They feel like this. I feel like I'm at the Magic Kingdom when I watched this. I really did. I felt like I was walking down Main Street or something. It's got a feeling. So I think that's all I got to say about it.
Okay. Can we talk about Dick Van Dyke?
Sure. Yeah. Light spoilers. Dick Van Dyke's in it.
I just love him.
Yeah.
He seems so... seeing him in the movie, and then we watched one of the special features with him on set, and he just seems so kind and caring, and he evokes this feeling of childlike wonder.
He's filled
and
with joy.
He's just so happy to be there.
Yeah.
And he loved being back on the set of the movie as well. So.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. What do you guys think about it? Again, if you're resistant to it, I understand. But if you like Disney and you resonate with the kind of feeling that we're talking about, that child, if you resonated with it as a child, maybe look into it. I think there might be something there for you. So, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And until next time, we will catch you later.